as you can see, we are right here placing all of this moss right here, that Eden moss from McMinnville, Oregon provided for us across this burlap, all across the float area. And so basically gathering the moss by the handful, we glue big rows with this 2-inch paintbrush all across the burlap here, and then I'm just breaking it up and applying it piece by piece, strand by strand, across this avalanche of Elmer. That's right. And then eventually there'll be these little pockets in between parts of this moss right here, in which we'll be placing these various native flowers from Oregon all across that area. We'll be, I think, stapling them in with a staple gun, from what I understand, and even got some flowers on some various floats. I'm not sure if this is among them, this KeyBank float that are actually stuffed and are more three-dimensional, kind of origami-like, I guess you could say. It's a more tentative process, but by day 6 and day 7, you're going to see a lot more of that. Ever remember the Joy of Painting with Bob Ross?
Yeah.
The notion of the happy little trees?
Yeah.
Well, here we see this little happy little moss all across the burlap. See, it's like a little village, you know, all the little moss getting together. It's like a moss neighborhood. Happy little moss everywhere. See how I'm pressing it in? It's like I'm beating
Make sure
the...
if it comes out thick, then we're breaking it down so we can, get it thin.
And beat the devil out of the moss. Hey, you beat the devil out of a paintbrush. Surely I get to beat something the devil out of something. So let it be moss. Besides, some moss is invasive to Oregon.
And you are a little heavy. You want to go a little thinner. So between these two, okay? That's cool. This is actually a flower box, so it has a big arrangement in it. This really just to describe it. Yeah. So that's really nice.
Oh, we got a great garland-like strand right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm breaking this apart so that we don't cover the entirety of the burlap. We cover most of the burlap, but we want to make sure that we have small little openings, so that way, later on, we can get the flowers in their proper place. So, I'm going to break it apart so we can cover as much ground as possible across the burlap. Happy little strand. And again, I'm going to beat the devil out of the moss by pressing it in real hard. White glue we've applied here.
Maybe I'd say just pop in here and let moss, okay? Pop it in.
You call that a happy accident? I call it being happy on purpose.
Other side. I always leave the back for last because that's usually the up and down spot too. But yeah, here it's not as important to worry about, start and stop finish lines and that kind of stuff. Okay. It all just kind of blends together. Okay? So yeah, if you want, just hop in here, because that way the material's also all kind of here and the glue's kind of here. Okay?
As you can see also we had featured photographers all around the place, kind of doing photo archiving, photo journaling, so to speak, of the daily progress invested into each of these floats, including myself and really dozens and dozens of other fellow volunteers from all walks of life. I've seen a lot of people even from way outside of Oregon come here, including Arizona, the Philippines, Mexico, lots of places. So as you can see, it's a cultural tradition in many most respects, but it's a tradition that extends well beyond Oregon also. Well beyond the Beaver State, the Portland Rose Festival is just unlike any other festival in North America, really. It's a unique culture all in itself, really. In fact, the Grand Floral Parade is renowned for being the cleanest parade, national parade in all of America annually. We sure use a lot of raw materials, that's for sure, but it has a reputation for being the most cleanest parade nonetheless, and for that I am most humbly proud to be part of this endeavor and making the magic of this very festival come to life. This may look like a lot of work, but it's not nearly as time-consuming as sticking hazelnut shell by hazelnut shell, or navy bean after navy bean, or really coffee bean after coffee bean on the trees and the shutters and the awnings of the building. We cover a lot more ground really fast with the moth here. So I'm really proud of how fast we're really covering ground here.
And make sure you get a good surface coat so we don't see the burlap really.
And then really get at the same time.
Yeah.
They're building another building next to it, looks like. Expanding.
It's gonna be a season game.
Oh.
That's right. An avalanche of glue everywhere. That looks like a good parcel. So now we begin the next padding here. Start from the top and work up toward the bottom. Usually you work from the bottom to the top for a purpose of, particularly of the weight that's being pressed upon it by the raw materials. But in this case, we've been generally working from the top down on this particular material. Because it's a pretty flimsy material, you can kind of get away with situating it any way you want. Nice. Well, that's basically the gist of what we're doing right now. I'll check with you later.